Nothing we say is investment advice. Please pause on all 3 pages of this disclaimer and read it.
Greetings, Algo Artisans Cowboy here. Apologies for the funky voice. Got a little bit of a sore throat, but I'm here and we're doing it. We're gonna take a look at some possible trades this week for the NASDAQ, Bitcoin, USDCAD, EURUSD, AUDUSD, gold, and silver. Before we do that, please take a look in the description. There is a free algo for you. You do have to optimize it before you use it, but it is a quick video where I actually build an algo before your very eyes, and I show you the tools traders use to connect it to their broker so they can trade without even being at the computer. Of course, this is the heart and soul, the engine to the agentic AI trading bot. So if you want to do agentic AI trading, which is what everybody talks about now, you actually have to have an algo for that to work. So please check that out. Also like and subscribe. Something like 60% of you watch this and don't subscribe. Please do so. All right, before we take a look at the charts, we're going to take a look at the news, the economic data that drops this week, and that can help us plan out our possible trades over at forexfactory.com. Okay, so Monday's pretty much over. We had some data drop this morning at 10 a.m. The ISM Services PMI. Tuesday, the 7th, is no news until 10 p.m. EST. We have the New Zealand dollar data coming out with their official cash rate, which is basically their version of the FOMC, where they talk about their bank's lending interest rate, their prime rate. Wednesday, in the US at 2 p.m. EST, we have the FOMC meeting minutes, which is going to give the market some clues as to what kind of guidance there might be for future rate hikes or cuts. Thursday is going to be pretty quiet. Friday at 8:30 a.m. EST, we have some Canadian data. Their unemployment and employment data is going to come out. So that's it for the news. Again, these types of data are there to help us navigate where the volatility might come from. If you're trading the Forex market, it's pretty helpful as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at the charts, and we'll start with the NASDAQ. Look, this week is going to be pretty quiet for almost everything. It's the beginning of the summer. Sell in May, go away is in full effect. The NASDAQ is ranging, and it has been ranging for some time. If I scroll out here, you'll see it's just forming kind of a range, a tight place where price goes back and forth, and eventually that's going to break out, but I don't see it happening this week. It could break out, right? That's always possible, but it even tried to break out last week and was unable to do so. If you see right here on the 30th, on Tuesday, June 30th, it tried to break out and got pushed right back down into that range. So the only trades I would take as far as swing trading is concerned would be either at the top or bottom of this range, which is how I have these trades kind of drawn or set up, is that as price approaches this area and bounces off, I would take a short. And if it goes towards the bottom, I would take a long. It doesn't have to happen the way I've drawn it. It's just a general idea of how that would go. And that's what this whole week is going to look like, by the way. It's going to look just like that for all of the charts we look at, because it's just really quiet overall. So unless we get a surprise, some kind of Iran news or some market change or something like that, this is pretty much what it's going to be. Just moves at the top and the bottom of the range. And just for those listening, the top of this range is at about 30,275. The bottom of the range is at about 29,275. So almost a perfect 1,000-point range on the NASDAQ. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin seeing some strength. The algos have it grinding to the right and up in the near term. Now, eventually, I think this will break down, but we've seen a decent amount of strength happen as price rejected off of this area. It didn't even quite make it down to the area, this purple area that I drew, which is where price doesn't want to go. It came back into the orange zone, which is where the liquidity is, and it's just going to hang out there until it doesn't. The lower bound for this is really going to be down right about here at the bottom of the orange range, a little bit higher than that. I'll put a line on there so you can see it, but you're looking at about 60,700 or so, and it's really the top of this consolidation right here. So the easy way to see where I might consider a long would be if price went down based on some kind of crazy event or news or something or other and bounced right off the top of that, and I would take a long there. In the meantime, I probably would just be looking to long these pullbacks, and if price made its way up to the top of the range, which is at about 67,341, and it's really not even that much of a range. I mean, it is, but it's more about just some structure that we've seen in the past, and if price makes it up there, I would look for a possible short. I don't expect it to move much this week, but it's Bitcoin. You know, Bitcoin can do a lot when you don't expect it to. Let's move on to USDCAD. Again, bouncing around in a range. Top of the range in this case is going to be right here at 142,499, and the bottom of the range is going to be at 141,529. Longing bottoms, shorting the tops. That's the end of it for me. And again, it doesn't have to look like the way I drew it. It could like revert to the top, and then I would get my short. It could rocket to the bottom or get there later, and I would get my long. This is just a general idea of what's going on. Now let's take a look at the euro. EURUSD looking kind of like USDCAD, interestingly. It's grinding up and to the right, and this one is super low volatility. I don't expect really to get any trades on this. Maybe longing pullbacks if I'm really watching, but again, I've got a range. I would short the top of that range, which is at about 116.24, and I would long the bottom, which is at 113.25. Let's take a look at AUDUSD. This one's a bit more bullish. I would be long in the pullbacks on this one too. I'd just be really careful about doing it. The safest trades for me would be shorting the top of the range, which is at 0.70898, or longing the bottom if it happens to get down there, maybe based on some news or a surprise, and that'd be around 0.68731. Let's take a look at gold or silver. And I especially don't have much in the precious metals as far as looking for trades. They seem to be really pretty quiet right now. They are holding above those levels I was certain about, but just barely. I was looking at about 4,000 as an area where price might break down to 3,500. It's holding above that for now, and it seems to want to just kind of slowly meander to the right and slightly bullish. I would consider shorting around 43.70 or consider going long around right about 39.55 right there. That'd be the area where I'd look for a possible trade. Let's take a look at silver. Again, slow movement to the right and slightly up. Areas to short would be sitting somewhere at around 71.37 or going long around 55.71. That's what I look at, or just looking to buy pullbacks if indeed this does remain a little bit bullish. So not a very exciting week for trading, but if you are watching for those pullbacks, if you have the wherewithal to do that, or if you have an algo that tells you when it's time to go, that's when the trades are possible. But for me, the safest trades are going to be structurally based at the top or bottom of these ranges, and I just don't expect to see that really happening that much this week. It might be a week for me to take off trading or just kind of scalp the NASDAQ or what have you. Thank you all for watching. This is what we do. We predict where price is going to go, when it's going to get there, and we find ways to extract money from those price movements. And if you want a sneak peek at how we do it, just go over to the description. There's a link in there. It's a free algo. It's a very quick video where I build an algo. You still have to optimize it before you use it, but it is the engine to an agentic AI trading bot. An optimized algo that's been tested and you know that it works is what AI trading bots need in order to be successful. We teach you how to do all that stuff at algofactory.tech. So come check us out. We will be live Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8:30 a.m. EST. So you can come watch us. You can actually request charts. We have a few people who come in because they want to see what their stock's going to do, or they want to see what a precious metal might do, or what have you. And as long as it's not like some stupid meme coin that came out yesterday and it has candlesticks, then I will chart it for you within that allotted time. And then after that, we go for another 50 minutes or so with the private live lab members, where I talk about in detail what I expect to happen and I answer their questions in there. So come check us out, learn how to trade like a hedge fund pro, and we will see you bright and early.